Hi, I'm Chuck Dorsett for Weaver Leather Supply, segment 5 in our series on stamps. We're going to look at the other half of our border stamps. We still have some cool ones to look at. We've got some traditional, we've got some out of the box, and a couple here that I absolutely love, and I hope you will too. All right, so anything I use in this video, weaverleathersupply.com, or check below. We've got links there, going to take you straight to our website. Also, if you want to know when our videos release, just click your notifications. You'll know exactly when these come out. So again, we talked about casing our leather, anchor lines, guidelines. Well, let's skip all that. Let's go straight to stamping. Let's start with two stamps that are technically not border stamps, but we all use them in that capacity, barbed wire. Now, a lot of the stamp sets out there, really tough to line up. These are an absolute breeze and they look good. It's a quality tool. All right, my leather is cased. What I'm going to do is come in about 1/2 of an inch from my edge because we've got a pretty good sized barb there. Well, let's start with our wire stamp. I'm going to do my best to drop that right in on our guide line. Very nice, crisp, consistent impression, just what we're looking for. So a second, I'm just going to overlap that by just a hair, drop that in directly on our line. Look at that, no transition line, lines up so easily. Now with our barb, let's drop this in. Good detail again, very clean stamp. Now I'm going to continue down our line. Very nice, clean and straight, and again I can see every detail. These are just such high quality stamps. Now we can manipulate the length a little bit. So say 4 back to back is just a little too far. Well, we can overlap this if we want to, and it's quite easy to line up. So let's drop in a guideline. Now with our wire, let's drop in our first impression. Now for the second, I can actually feel that stamp sit down in to the second half of the previous stamp. There we go. So now I've actually shortened that line. So if we need to, if we're trying to hit a point, or if we're too long or too short, easy way to do it, and it's going to line up every time. Okay, let's jump over to two tools that have a gorgeous design. And our guideline. So we've got a groove line, 1/8 of an inch in, and a guideline 1/8 of an inch further than that, so 1/4 from our edge. Now, by name, this is a serpentine leaf border stamp, but it looks just as good if we lay in only half of that, just a single line. Now, it's a little bit of a delicate design, so maybe a smaller project, but let's get a look at it first off. Nice design, burnish as well. Here, let's get a close-up of this. Yeah, there. Now we can see some good detail. Okay, so let's stack a few of these across our line. Very nice, more of a subdued borderline. Again, maybe on a smaller project, that's going to look good. But let's reverse and offset this. So let's come out about 5/16 of an inch. Now this is up to you. We're simply going to make a serpentine design through here. So you can open or close that. But let's start with 5/16, or about 0.79 centimeters. Okay, and again, let's reverse and offset this stamp. Now, stamping and talking, again, I'd like to really take my time, and we need to, but I don't feel like I have that luxury while I'm on camera. The point is that these are probably not going to line up as nice as I would like, but again, let's take our time with these, and if we do, it's going to be gorgeous. Okay, there we go. Very nice border. Let's do this. One of these stamps that we can make all kinds of additional designs with. Let's start with a simple box. Nice design. Yeah, I could have lined that up a little bit better. Well, let's do that same thing, but let's elongate this box. Okay, very cool. That opens us up for all kinds of ideas. Drop in maybe another stamp or a spot. That would look good. Let's pick up this tool and just see what happens. So our next tool, let's go ahead and drop in a guideline. We've seen this tool before, or all of it. Here's what I mean by that. So this is our geometric stamp, which we've seen. There we go. Gorgeous design. Yeah, there we go. This is exactly half of that. So let's drop in one, take a look. Very nice. And again, that tool burnishes very nicely. All right, let's stack these down. Okay, good looking border. We can actually work more stamps into that. But let's do this. Let's come out about half of an inch, about 1.27 centimeters. And again, let's reverse and offset this stamp. Well, there we go. That looks pretty cool, like that design. Now let's spread that out a little bit because this is one of my favorite belt designs. So now we're going to jump out to about 3/4 of an inch or about 1.9 centimeters. Okay, there we go. Very cool design there. Again, leaving room for another stamp or maybe a spot. But this is one of my favorite designs for cuffs or belts. Works in so nicely. Okay, we're going to reset. Let's look at what we call an hourglass stamp. Now, an hourglass, we've seen this design or this shape before. But I like this. It's a little bit smaller. Let's get one stamp in here, see what this looks like. But the cool thing here, we can go so many ways with this stamp. Okay, there we go. Let's get a better close-up of that. Good, so we can see some good detail in that. Let's stack a few of these. Well, now I got a little bit off my guideline, but notice there is a problem there. We've got a guideline. So if we're going to do this stamp, we need to center our guideline and drop our stamp right on the middle. That will easily overstamp that, okay? Let's turn this on its side, see what happens. Well, you know, I've always liked that the best, but that looks pretty cool. We've got kind of a chain link look to that edge or that border stamp. Now, let's go one of my favorite ways. We've seen this before, but let's see what happens with this stamp. Well, I like that. All our lines seem to work together, okay? Let's expand on this. Well, that certainly looks good. I like this inner detail. But again, another stamp or maybe a spot. But in all honesty, I think I like that right where it is. Okay? Our last couple of stamps. So we're going to start with what's called a wishbone or a wishbone shaped stamp. I'll skip my groove here. Let's just drop in our guideline. There we go. Let's see how this works on our edge. Good, crisp stamp. We can see every detail. I like that little flourish in the center. Well, there we go. I like the look of that. Nicely burnished, and again, I can see every detail. Here's where this comes in most handy. We've talked about making borders or edges with our English points. That's a 3/4 inch English point. Let's drop this in, see how that fits. Well, that looks good. Nice flap for a pouch or a briefcase. Let's fill this out. Yeah, there we go. Nice detail. Now, the first time I picked up this stamp, my first thought was scale. It's got a perfect shape. It's not great, but let's see what happens. Well, in all honesty, it's not a bad scale, but we can make a better scale with our English point, okay? Second to last, this is simply a Greek stamp. Now, there's not a lot we can do with this, but it does make a nice border, and it's easy to line up. Nice big hard edge. But again, a lot of metal on this stamp. Okay, if we work it around a little bit, we can get some good consistency there. Let's add a second. Okay, pretty cool. That'd look good on a cuff or a belt, a thinner belt. That'd be a nice design. And last one, again, we can't do a lot with this stamp, but it is a very strong stamp. So let's bring a line across. This is simply a nice big X. There we go. Again, a good stamp. Okay, a good border stamp, very strong. Now I'm a little light on this end. Let's see if we can correct that. Yeah, there we go. Well, let's spread this out a little bit, see what happens. Well, there we go. Actually, that gives us a nice diamond pattern. That's going to fit somewhere. So with most of these tools, let's just pick them up, see where we go. The border stamps are some of my favorite stamps to work with. We can get a beautiful, very unique border on our project, but at the same time, we could do so much more with these tools. I love to just pick one up and experiment. Segment 6, we're going to look at some specialty tools. Now, these are tools that won't really fit into any category, but we've got some nice designs here. So, I hope this is good information for you, but more than that, I hope somewhere in this series you find a tool or a design that you fall in love with. Good luck with your projects.